They make these hats too big into it. Mr. Forey, Chief Justice Eisman, Mr. Marsh, Mr. Wilson, honored guests, friends, and family. I want to thank each of you for coming today and celebrating with us an important milestone in our lives. Each of you, in your own unique way, has impacted our lives, and we thank you. Parents, thank you so much for all the love, work, and prayer that you've put into our lives, and that you've been teaching us not just the 3 R's, but the fear and admonition of the Lord. Class of 09, it's a big day. I want to speak to us and to the responsibility that has been placed on our shoulders. As you look through the biographies of our graduates, you'll notice there's a wide range of accomplishments here in this group, from the state cross-country champion to the state chess champion, and everywhere in between. Each graduate has pursued and excelled in a variety of interests outside of the standard academics. Our parents have sacrificed themselves, taking a road less traveled, to give us the best education possible and train us into adults who are equipped to face the world's challenges and have a true desire for God. We are fortunate to have been given so much, because with our economy well on its way to socialism and a government that continues to chip away at our freedoms, we live in an interesting time. As Americans, we are probably going to face challenges that other generations of Americans have not had to face, especially because of our faith in Jesus Christ. Is this reason to be glum? Not hardly. I would say praise God that He has seen fit to place us in these days. Unique times present unique opportunities, and we have much to look forward to as we see God's work and His plans fulfilled. And may God be glorified as we see and act on His call in our lives. In Matthew chapter 25, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. In the parable, a king is about to depart on a long journey and gives a sum of money to 3 slaves. Upon his return, he brings the slaves back before him to give an account of the money he had given them. The first 2 slaves had been responsible and had doubled their master's money, and the king commended them, saying, "Well done, good and faithful servants." The 3rd slave had buried the money in the ground, and when the king found out, he was very angry and ordered the slave to be cast out into the outer darkness. The moral of this parable is pretty clear. God both instructs and expects us to be faithful with what He has given us. In a short amount of time, life for each of us is going to look very different. From flying a fighter jet to the Middle East to raising young children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. From providing for a young family to keeping up with the laundry for another young family. From taking the gospel to a country overseas, to bringing meals to the sick. Some things may seem more glamorous or maybe more noble, but the reality is that if God has called us to do it, it is important that we do each task unto Him. That's exciting. God has given each of us purpose and work, and we can be assured that He's going to use those things in our lives to make us more like His Son. In 1 Corinthians, Paul instructs us how to live our lives as if we were running a race to win. I take that to mean that we are to give it our all, not making excuses, not seeking the easy road, but giving our hearts and lives to the things that God has called us to. Jack London, the famous author, once said, "I would rather that my spark burn out in a brilliant blaze than it be stifled by dry rock." We have the option of choosing the comfortable, the predictable, the path of least resistance, but it seems that is not what God would have for us. His path is the refining one, sometimes the difficult one, but always the good one, and that we can completely trust Him with. Our lives at their longest are just so brief. Let us live every moment and make the most of it, that every aspect of our life would bring Him glory. In closing, a common maxim is that life is not a sprint, but a marathon. This ceremony marks the end of our first lap. With our parents' help, hopefully we have run it well. But fellow graduates of 2009, may I suggest that this race has only begun, with, Lord willing, many laps to come. Lots of challenges, lots of adventures, many blessings, and at the end, the ultimate joy of the finish line that awaits each of us. May we run the race of our lives, and at the end, hear from the King, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Thank you, and God bless each of you.